Boom! Right on time. Right on the exact second we're supposed to start. We're starting because we're prompt, baby. That's what we do. Nope, no intro video to start right now. We're going to let that thing fester for a second. We're going to let you guys filter in because I want to show the new intro. I'm pumped about it. I'm psyched. It took me some time to put it together. And GB Pro Music provided the music for it. So very grateful to him. I'm going to let some people filter in here before I play it. Then we'll get the show officially started. But go check it out. I put the link in the description of the video so you guys can go see it. I know a couple people have already gone and see it. Near down Atmos. You're right, Mikey. Nobody cares about Cowturd because he's a clout whore, and you're exactly right. So I'm going to leave that right on screen till we start having more people filter in. Then I'm going to show the intro. Then we'll get started. Then we're going to do this thing. Week 2 against the Texans. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I wasn't there very long, Mikey. Sorry, wasn't there very long. I was in the middle of stuff, but I did jump in. This is going to be a different format today, guys. It's about a half-hour show, just so you have expectations, about a half hour. I have very poorly neglected the chat a lot. I've done that a lot lately. Let's see, where did it go? Nobody cares about. I'm going to pull that one back up. So this one's going to be you guys tell me what you want to discuss. We're going to discuss a couple things. Right off the bat, I'll do a couple things. I'll talk about a couple of issues like Cowturd, the injury report, a couple of my thoughts leading into the games this week. And then we're going to chat. We'll chat for a little bit. We'll do a little bit of a Q&A. We'll do a little bit of a, if anybody wants to hop on, send me a link on Twitter. I'll invite you to the show. You guys can hop in. We can have a little chit chat, have a little bit of fun. Who remembers the name of the best offensive tackle that Anderson said he faced in college? You got me on this one. Anybody else in the comments? All right, who's ready? I'm going to start it. I'm going to start with the new video. It's very similar to the one that was on Free Talk Tuesdays on a Wednesday. It's very similar. I've cleaned it up a little bit. Here we go. Cross up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O, cross up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O, cross up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O, cross up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O, cross up, bear down, red zone, let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O, cross up, bear down, red zone, let's go. Booyah! I don't know why that excites me. A lot of hard work goes into that crap, guys. That's fun. I don't do as much graphics and stuff as some of the other channels. Remember, I'm still new. I'm a one-man show. It's fun. C-H-I-C-A-G-O. Go check out the video. Go check out his work, GB Pro Music. The link is in the description of the video. So thanks for tuning in. We got Jigsaw joining in. We got Eric Harper. We got Tyler MD23. Bear down. Let's go. Let's go. LFG. Green Bay. See ya. Andy Anderson. Boom. All right, guys, let's have some Bears talk. Let's talk about some Bears football today. If you guys haven't seen it today, let me pull this up. Freaking Collin Cowturd. And I'm going to say it before I get into it with him. This is on Twitter, and it was on his show, and it was snipped out. And he's predicting the Bears to lose 3 games in a row. And this is very typical Collin Cowturd. This is exactly what he does. He'll take something, and he'll go extreme with it. He'll go with an extreme emotional take on something, because he can see how things will be for the next week, and he won't quite go hard against it, but he'll give it so that he can get emotional appeal, and he'll get clout with it. So he's predicting the Bears will go on a 3-game losing streak because of how last week went. And then he feels secure about that because the Bears are such a big underdog against the Texans. Then if the Bears do well against the Texans, what you'll see him do is completely flip his script next week and say, they showed me something I hadn't seen before. And now I'm on the Bears bandwagon. And now here's the new Bears take of what I see, because they just needed time to develop, and they needed this and they needed that. He's such a flip-flopping, frick-fracking piece of cow turd taker. He never has any analytics for himself. He takes and he shifts his basis based off popular opinion. It's so freaking annoying. So that's what he did today. We can go into it real quick. Freaking cow turd. So here's him.
News. Has a defensive coach. JJ McCarthy's not going to play.
Talking about how Caleb Williams won't be as successful as Bo Nix because Bo Nix has an offensive coach and we have Matt Eberflus. So I wonder what Shane Waldron is. I wonder what he did with Geno Smith and what he's done before. And we'll get into the press conference stuff. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Those who didn't see, all three coordinator coaches, offensive, defensive, and special teams coaches spoke today. And I really like some things. Let's hit here first, though.
The defense. Cognitive red flag out of Chicago. Practice before
talking about how Caleb Williams not accurate. Now he's a problem. He's I can't with him. So Houston, here he is saying we're going to lose 3 games in a row.
My prediction right now, 3-game losing streak.
Yeah. Piece of cow turd. Nothing good to take from the cow turd. Move that off of there. He will go with the popular opinion take. Now, here's the thing I want to say right off the bat about this game against the Texans. The Texans played against a Colts defense that is known to be one of the worst secondaries in the league. The Colts don't have a special defense. The Colts front line is really good. So they're a little injured. So maybe next week we get a little bit of a break. We'll see. I'm dying too, guys. I don't know if anybody lives in California or Vegas, but this California fire that's coming over the mountains to us, it is absolutely shredding me right now. Like, you can't even see. So from my house, you can always see the sphere. You can always see the strip. You can always see. It's got a good view of all that. You can't see anything right now because of the smoke. It's absolutely terrible. All right, DeMeco Ryans the defensive coach. Tony Dungy wasn't. Yeah, exactly. So what is Shane Waldron? Anyways, and if you guys missed the press conference today, I really like Shane Waldron taking accountability. He said that there were a lot of things that he needs to adjust. He said that a lot of those things that happened in the last game were on him, especially referring to when they were asking about Cole Kmet and his playing time. He went into it and said, yeah, that's on me. I need to do a better job of getting used to the flow of things. And when we were trying to get a flow, we were trying to get things going. It wasn't smooth. And then it was on me to be able to have how many reps people got. It was a clear and obvious thing. Talked about it in other videos. We'll do analytics throughout the whole week. Homer was played way too much. I think he's got an affinity for Travis Homer. I don't understand it. He didn't block particularly amazing. Kerry Blasingame for a fullback didn't block really great at all. That was interesting. But that was kind of the reason you think they left Khalil Herbert out of the game. But Khalil Herbert had a good blocking preseason, and you don't just give up on someone because years past they weren't elite. He wasn't terrible. He was average to below average, but he did really well this preseason. You need to put your best players in the game. And I think it was really good that Shane Waldron owned up to that. But what you're going to see this week is you're going to see a team that looks overhyped. Now, don't crucify me until you hear my whole take on this. I get the Texans aren't just an overhyped team. They're actually a playoff contender. I get that. But if you're going off week 1 and you're thinking CJ Stroud looked amazing on week 1, and that's what everyone's doing right now, is 1 week is in the books. 1 week in the books, and everyone's a Super Bowl contender. Everyone's out of the playoffs. Everyone's a bust. Caleb Williams is a bust. Darrell Taylor is the best defensive end I've ever played in the National Football League. Now, I do think Darrell Taylor will be good, and I'm really glad we got him. Props to Ryan Poles for a 6th-round pick for that. That's amazing. And he looked particularly good against the run, too. He set the edge, and that was the one thing all preseason, once we picked him up, that was the one knock I had was, well, he's another Yannick Ngakoue. I'm worried about that because you look at limited tape and you look at his stats, because that's what I do a lot on here. I look at the stats on paper, and he sacrifices setting the edge. He sacrifices the run for the pass rush. And that first game, I've watched tape. I can tell you guys, I've watched the All-22. I've watched the entire game over again, and then I watched different angles of the All-22. I've watched it 3 times. I'm obsessed. This is why I have a podcast now. This is why I come and talk to you guys. I'm obsessed. And I can tell you, Darrell Taylor looked good on every aspect of his game. Not as good on the run game as he is at his pass rush, but it was a lot better than it looked on paper. and a lot better than people were criticizing him for. I would feel very comfortable with Darrell Taylor being a 4-down back, 3-down back. I would be very comfortable with that. And that's a position I played, was defensive end. That's what I love. So when I focus on games, a lot of people are watching the offense. I actually really enjoy watching the defensive line and defensive ends because that's what I played. So it's something I feel confident saying. I'm really excited to see how he does this year. Now, the Bears are the best defensive line in the league. Right after we went all preseason, worrying that might be the biggest deficiency for us, we faced the Titans week 1. And people need to keep that in perspective. The Titans offense is hot trash garbage. So our defense looked amazing. And the defense is amazing, but they looked really, really amazing, especially the defensive line. They'll have a little better test this week against the Titans. The Titans aren't a top 10 offensive line, but they're not far from that. So they'll have a little bit more of a test. The offense won't have as hard of a time against the defensive interior of the Texans, but the defensive ends of the Texans are very good with Will Anderson Jr. And Daniel Hunter. They've got some good defensive ends, but I think we might be able to get the run game going a little bit better because of that. And that's going to help open things up and get the ball moving for us and be able to open up play schemes and be able to get more things rolling. I think you'll see more 12 personnel sets. I think you'll see more Khalil Herbert, maybe a couple more Velus Jones at running back. Don't crucify me. At running back, I agree. His kick return time needs to be put on hold for a little bit, especially with DeAndre Carter. Holy crap. DeAndre Carter in that 67-yard return. DeAndre Carter is every reason to be able to have DeAndre Carter be returning kicks from the foreseeable future. Absolutely. All right, I got to get to the chat because that's what I said. This episode is going to be more focused on the chat because I've been ignoring the chat a lot more. But anyways, Collin Cowturd, if you missed the first part, he says the Bears are going to go on a 3-game losing streak. He says that Caleb Williams is overhyped. He didn't call him trash, but he basically said he's overhyped and he had the same problems in college and he's not going to come around and blah, 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 blah. And he said the same things about Justin Fields, and he's blaming the Chicago culture, and he's blaming that we have a defensive-minded coach. And get out of here. Get out of here, Collin. For that reason alone, for all the haters, it's our time to finally have it go our way. I really, really, really want this to be an upset this week. I want us. It's Sunday Night Football, and you guys see that we're in the orange unis. They're in their all white unis. This is going to be like aesthetically, and it's going to be a cool looking game. But we're now a 6.5 point underdog, and I legitimately think we have a shot to upset them on this game. All right, let's go here. 3-game losing streak. Haha. Yeah, I'm with you, man. All right, here's Creighton's big Dex of the day. Breaking news: Jervon Dexter has ripped Collin Cowherd's head off his shoulders and stuffed it up his rectum. Dex said his head was always up there to start with. I love it. I love it, Creighton. I love when you do these, man. I love it. Yeah, I am Kingdom Come. You live in Vegas too. Yesterday morning was bizarre with all the smoke coming in from Cali. Man, it's where I live down by the M, and on my end of town, I'm getting a nonstop, man. It's killing me. I'm dying. I'm sitting here drinking water and coughing and still dying. Yeah, Andy, I'm with you on this one. Week 6, you can start judging teams. And I've said that. So before the season started, if you guys remember, I said, give it 4 weeks before we have any kind of true analysis. We'll give our takes all the way throughout. We have to. That's what we do. It's what makes this worth it. And we're 1-0, makes it really worth it this year. Remember last year we were 0-1, and it was the opposite type of panic. Now we truly believe, hey, maybe we could go 2-0. We obviously didn't. We have that option last year because we were 0-1. This I'm telling you, with this defensive line showing up like they did last week, I don't expect 2 defensive touchdowns this week. I don't. I don't expect 1 defensive touchdown. I do expect the defense to hold them to 17 points again. And I think they can do that against the Texans. I really do. The Texans scored 28 points last week on a very, very, very extremely vanilla. And if you don't believe that I believe that, Michael Lombardi today earlier was talking about that, how the Colts just do not change things up. They're very predictable. So this is the perfect game for Shane Waldron to call some things up and get things exposed. They've got good players in their secondary for the Texans. So they'll be tougher than it'll be against the Colts next week. But the Texans didn't show crazy amazing things against that vanilla secondary of the Colts. So now it could just be the Texans having a slow first game too. But they got praised on like CJ Stroud is the second coming and like he's amazing. So I'm not sold on it yet. I think we can keep him to 17. Then it's just whether or not Shane Waldron can play scheme it right, call this game right to get us to 21, 24, 27, 28 points. I predicted the game the Bears are going to win 24-17. Yeah, I think Waldron, someone said we finally have it right there. Waldron finally a coach that takes responsibility. I know. Have you guys seen what's going on in Vegas in here? Like, and everyone's already calling for Luke Getsy's head. Like, and it's not just on social media. Like, you hear the buzz around town when you go somewhere. I randomly talk to people all the time about sports, and they, yeah, the Raiders fans already want Luke Getsy gone. They want him out. They can see it's clear. They want Jackson Powers Johnson to start at center, and I would too. I mean, he's your generational center. And he started Cody Whitehair last week because Cody Whitehair obviously has familiarity with him and he's playing favoritism. Yeah, I don't think he's going to last the whole season. If he does, it'll be a miracle. But he's making Gardner Minshew, who looked really good last year, filling in for Anthony Richardson, who was injured most of the season. Gardner Minshew looked pretty good. I mean, he did. He looked pretty good. He's making him look already like a scrub for sure. Man, I'm getting behind already. Yeah, predictions are just feelings at this point. 100% Bob. So my predictions, everybody else's power rankings, they mean nothing till week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really, mid-season is when they start meaning something, when you start seeing how teams develop. Even last year, the Bears started 0-4, and that wasn't really indicative of the type of team that they were. Once you got rid of Luke Getsy, you didn't get rid of him till obviously way later. But Alan Williams, once you got rid of Alan Williams and Matt Eberflus was able to take over his own defense, things looked a lot different. So even the first 4 weeks, especially with a rookie quarterback and a team coming together and gelling, it's not going to look that way right off the bat. And he did, yes. Shane Waldron talked about establishing the run on Sunday. And you got a better opportunity here against this team than you did against the Titans. They did try to against the Titans. But when you've got Jeffrey Simmons and you've got, Tavondre Sweat, who we used in multiple mock drafts that I said he would be great to go after. You got 400 players, and obviously you're not going to pick every player, but I thought it would be a steal at round 2 or 3. And man, he looked every bit of the part of a giant beast, man. He did a good job, but he's kind of what run stuff. He stopped our run from starting, and then we didn't go to it enough. And Shane Waldron did say he plans on establishing the run a little bit more this week. Yeah. Caleb Williams going to have a solid bounce back game. I agree. In the comments, what do you guys think? What do you think Caleb's stat line is going to be for this game? I personally think just over 200. I don't think it's going to be crazy. I think we established the run. I think maybe more like 65% completion percentage, probably 200 yards, 1 touchdown. I think we'll run another touchdown in, maybe 2 touchdowns. I think his first touchdown will be to DJ Moore, if not Cole Kmet. I don't know the full uni. Anybody know the full uni? So in practice today, let me try to pull this up. Let me try to pull up from practice today. They had pictures of the blue jersey because it's practice and the orange helmet, and it looks freaking lit. It's fire. Chicago Bears. It does. It looks awesome. Look at that combo right there. I like the orange helmet, and I get it's practice, so this isn't what they're going to wear, but the orange helmet. This orange helmet right here. The orange helmet. The orange one. The orange helmet with the blue. I think that looks pretty fire. Then if you put like the orange pants at the bottom, I think that would be cool. I'd be all in favor of that. Let's see. 34-30. That could be. Atmos, I think that could be. You could see a shootout type of game. But I really think our defense will hold them better than that. I do. 17 for 25 for 2 I that's very realistic to me, Bob, about a bounce back game for a rookie quarterback who gets his feel. I mean, I assume at this point everyone has kind of heard Caleb speak, but I probably ought to bring some of those things up at the press conference. He took a lot of accountability, and he said some very realistic things. But one thing he said is, there were 4 or 5 of those throws where I was just a little bit off, and he took accountability for it. He said if we would have hit on those throws, the whole narrative of this game would have been rewritten. Like, they wouldn't be talking the same way about it. Well, yeah, duh, obviously, if you make throws as opposed to not making throws. But he's 100% right, too. And he's capable of making those throws, more importantly. So that's the big thing, is he's capable of making all of those throws and doing his thing. And he just, I said it before in the other video, he just looked a little off. Just looked frazzled, looked a little jittery, nervous. Obviously he says he doesn't get nervous, but he looked a little bit like that. And it's a matter of time until you get the reps. When Matt Eberflus is saying that stuff, when he's saying he just needs the reps, it's not just small talk. It's not just, lip service. That's really what that's all a rookie quarterback needs. He just needs to be able to get the reps to feel comfortable because he has the arm, he has the talent. You saw it at his pro day, you saw it in his college tape, you saw it in the preseason. You see the touch he has on the ball. It's just a matter of him getting comfortable and filling those reps. Now, who's he going to throw to this weekend? I don't know if anybody's not seen that. Let's pull up the injury report. Oh, it's kind of a scary thing. Chicago Bears injury report. Sorry, guys. Twitter's just one of the easiest places to find things. Ooh, I haven't seen the Texans injury report. Let's look at their injury report. Nico Collins limited from illness. Damian Pierce limited from a hamstring. Dalton Schultz did not play. Juice Scruggs. Interesting. Sorry. Side note, sidetrack. Here's the Bears, though. So there's the Bears injury report. Keenan Allen did not participate again. He has a heel injury. Oh, it shows right there, heel injury. And then Rome Odunze with his knee. Now, I wouldn't expect Rome to participate at all up until the game. So if he plays, it'll be a game time. But I don't see him playing this week. You'll see Tyler Scott get some more reps. We could call Colin Johnson up. I would like to see that, 6'6". Don't expect him to have a huge role in the game if he does, but it would be kind of cool to see Colin Johnson come up. For those who didn't watch the game, that tip jump ball by Rome Odunze shows exactly why you want Rome Odunze on your team. I mean, he high pointed that thing. He had to be 10 feet up in the air when he grabbed that thing, and then he fumbled. I get that, but we recovered it. But that's why you want Rome. DeMarcus Walker was limited. I'm not too worried about him from what you hear about. Kerry Blasingame did not participate. Hand, knee, I don't even know on that one. Mercedes Lewis is just rest, and then Ryan Bates did not participate at all with his shoulder elbow. So that's where the injury report is today. Well, you don't really know off the injury report, but it doesn't look good for the receiving core. You don't want Rome to play. Don't rush him back. I'm kind of with you, King Booker. Mikey, duh, Bears, 120 for 125, 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, I think you'll see a lot more 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets this week. I don't know if they won't be ready for it, but you need to get that involved a lot more. You need to mix things up. I hear you, man. I listened to it. It's effing bull crap. Yeah, same sources said that stuff. Doesn't want to go to Chicago. Tell him Colin doesn't have sources when it comes to the Chicago Bears and when it comes to Caleb Williams. He says he does. He doesn't. He doesn't have inside sources. He runs off emotional appeal. He runs it for the national media narrative. And then sometimes he goes opposite just to cause the stir to make himself feel important again. It's annoying. Ron Winarski says 35-17. Yeah, right here. Tyler, you're right. He hits Allen on that deep route 9 out of 10 times, and he just did. I mean, if Allen would have had that touchdown, this whole narrative would have been completely different. So this is the game for that. Might see a shit ton of number 12. You might see. Now, that's the thing. Bayless actually looks really good up the middle, too. 2 runs last week, 6 yards apiece. as an average. I think one was 7, one was 5, but I think you might get a few more touches in him. Yeah, I think he is the wide receiver 3 as of today, and they did use him last week. So don't overlook DeAndre Carter. He absolutely is a threat. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the chat more. I told you guys I would be more involved with the chat this week. Swifty Collins just spewing the same old Collin Cowturd crap. He's saying the Bears are going to go on a three-game losing streak, saying that the Caleb Williams isn't developing, and he's not going to develop in Chicago because the Bears have a defensive-minded head coach. He's using emotional appeal. He's a piece of trash, and he deserves to go out to the trash with Bernstein. I'm going to use his full name. Bernstein. It's like you guys not calling me Mason. Like, clearly shows Bernstein never played sports, ever. I don't know anybody on any of my teams. I played 4 sports in high school. I did come up from a smaller school. I don't know anybody ever calling me Adam on my teams, my teammates, ever. Like, it was always Mason. I was always called Mason. So it's just weird. Bizarre behavior, man. Bizarre behavior. Richard Colby, that's funny. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a dirty scumbag. And those who missed it, because some of you were late, I look forward to this stuff right here. Got to get to it. I look forward to Creighton always coming up with these. Breaking news. Gervon Dexter has ripped Collin Cowherd's head off his shoulder, stuffed it down his rectum. Dex said his head was always up there. I like saying it always belonged up there. And those who are late, I'm going to run this one more time. GB Pro Music provided the music for this, and I'm going to run it one more time. Enjoy the news.
Let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone. Let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone. Let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone. Let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone. Let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone. Let's go. C-H-I-C-A-G-O. Claws up, bear down, red zone. Let's go.
Sorry, guys. I like it. I like the new intro. That's the new minute intro as we come into the video. Lots of fun for me. Yeah, Bernstein is trash. That just showed his true character right there. That's a career suicide for someone when they act like that towards people. Not a good look. Not a good move. All right. The running game will allow Caleb to play more in rhythm and turn first downs into touchdowns and give us 31-20 win. So the big thing. So Shane Waldron also talks about converting those shorter third downs. The key plays there are first and third downs. And I didn't think his play calling last week was very good on either first or third down. And there was way too much Travis Homer, not enough Kerry Blazing game, not enough. I don't want to get into like over screen plays, but they weren't used properly. Like it just wasn't a good flow of the game. Things weren't smooth, and we were left with too many third and longs. All right, so let's not go one side. Let's go to the other side too. Shake says they said Caleb held the ball too long in college, so he over-optimized for a faster NFL and had the fastest release of any quarterback in the NFL. Think in a few weeks he'll realize he has time and relax. He didn't have the fastest release of any time in the NFL. There was a thing that went out on Twitter that said he was the quickest. It was very skewed. It's like when you take out certain parameters of something, he was the quickest when he didn't scramble. He was quickest when something else. He was right in the middle of the pack, 2.75 seconds to release, and that includes all plays. We're not sugarcoating. But they put narratives on things on week one because they want to make it fit that narrative. And the only other person that didn't do that I've watched, I mean, every other channel. I'm not gonna point out all of the other Bears channels. You guys watch them. they all jumped on these bandwagons. Every single one of them jumped on the bandwagon of smashing on our offensive line, saying the offensive line was terrible. The only one that didn't was Swifty. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I went into his chat during the All-22, and I said, okay, I'm putting you to the test. I want to see what you say. And he was spot on. So if you haven't seen Swifty's All-22 on the offensive line, go hit it. Because it's the same thing I did. I go watch it. I don't just listen to these narratives. I don't just listen to the bull crap of everyone saying, oh, I saw one play of Coleman Shelton going over to help with the double team, and then the blitz came on a stunt right up the gut, and that was his responsibility. It was his responsibility. He missed on that play. Bad job. Bad, Shelton. Bad. Naughty. Don't do it again. Then there's another one where the linebacker blitzed and put him on his ass, and he sucked, and it looked like he just got pancaked. Right. He did trip over Tevin Jenkins' shoe. I pointed that out early. Other people have seen it too now. I'm not saying I was the first one that saw it, but I did see that when I was watching the film. Other than that, there was maybe one or two plays that he didn't look fantastic. But if you compare that to other years, Coleman Shelton looked really, 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 really good compared to other centers we've had. And then you've got people already talking about the draft, like a rookie center is going to come in and fix it next year. I get it. I get it. I want to draft a rookie center too, but I want him to sit a year. I want to extend Shelton, and I want to keep him. I really, really, really like Coleman Shelton. He's a huge upgrade. He was 16th in the league, 17th in the league last year out of all centers graded out. John Michael Schmitz from 2 years ago started all year for the Giants, and guess where he ranked? 32nd out of 32nd. The Raiders aren't starting Jackson Powers Johnson. Now, to be fair, Zach Frazier, I put both of them up there. Jackson Powers Johnson, Zach Frazier, both generational, both really good centers as far as coming out. Probably the best two in the last 5 to 10 years. Zach Frazier did play really, really well for Pittsburgh last week in week 1. Looked really good. Followed it, watched it. Didn't watch the L22, didn't watch it 3 times like I watched the Bears tape, but I did watch him, and he looked really good. Now, there's some centers coming out next year. The Georgia center is one the Alabama center is the one a lot of people are talking about as the number one prospect center. I really like Bryce Foster, who's not predicted or whatever they call it at this point to go till the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I don't always listen to where they put people at this point. I have to do my own basis, my own looking at it through the year to see where guys end up. But Bryce Foster transferred from Texas A&M. He plays for Kansas now, who my UNLV Rebels are playing this week, and I hope they cream him. I hope they kill him. But Bryce Foster, to me, he's 330 pounds. This center from Alabama, I don't remember his name. Swifty knows this guy's name. Who is this guy? Freak. I'm not going to look it up. Anyways, 275 pounds. He's 275 pounds, and you expect him to come in year 1 and not have a John Michael Schmitz type of year for a center. Coleman Shelton is a really good center, guys. He's a really, really, really good center. We extend him one more year. We take a rookie under his wing, and you let him develop for a year. That's how you do it when you're a team that's filled all these holes. You don't have a lot of pieces to have to re-sign next year. We've only got 3 or 4 guys that are key contributors on this team that are hitting free agency. When you've got that and you've got high premium draft picks, a 1st, 2 seconds, a 3rd, possibly a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, probably a 4th, depending on if Justin Fields continues to play, then you're in a position to develop players and not have to thrust them in year 1. Look what's happening right now with Darrell Taylor coming over to us. Now we've got 2 really good pass rush defensive ends and a really, really good contain. And DeMarcus Walker actually led the team on pressures per snap and pass rush win rate last week, which was huge to me. Huge. Parker Brailsford was his name, for those wondering. Thank you, Swifty. I know Swifty was high on him. We've talked about him a couple times. I'm not in on the Parker Brailsford thing. 275 pounds. I'm not in on it. That's very Andre James type for the Raiders, who I didn't want us to sign for the same reason. We can get into a whole breakdown on that later. But I like Bryce Foster type, where you're bigger and you're agile. Very Zach Frazier, very Jackson Powers Johnson. I want my bigger but agile guys who can keep the run blocking for the Bears at an elite level and still help to bring that pass blocking up. Parker Brailsford is a great pass blocker, but I worry about him he's fast, but anyways, not a full breakdown of that right now. I rant, I rave. That's what I do. Yeah, I agree. The Bears will look at O-line. I like Tate Ratledge. I'd really like to see him come in as a guard in the second round next year. There's so many things we can go into the draft. I'm not going to do that on this video. But I do think the Bears are going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine with this offensive line. You have to understand that the defensive interior of the Titans are one of the better defensive interior teams in the league. I agree with that, Benjamin. I agree with certain aspects of that. And I think with a lot of the pieces the Titans improved on, the secondary was better than I expected it to be as well. But the Texans defense isn't terrible. It's just not up to the Titans. But the Texans offense is significantly better than the Titans offense. That's the big difference. That's where the test will come this week. If Caleb can do his part, if Shane Waldron can do his part, if the running game can get going in the offense and the defense isn't going to do as well as last week. You can't expect that every single week. But if they can keep that up and, get 3 out of 4 drives to be not scoring drives, if they can stop them and make them punt out of 3 out of 4 drives, you're going to have a good recipe for success. And with our defense, that's very doable. That means you're containing them to maybe a touchdown, 3 field goals. That would win the game. 2 touchdowns and a field goal, 2 field goals would still probably win the game as long as the offense can get clicking. All right. I'm going to get more to the chat again. I said I was going to do that in this video. I do want to wrap it up pretty soon. So let me see. Collin Cowturd is a douche. Oh, Jackson Bay, thanks for tuning in. Keith Spencer. Oh, man. Some of you guys. I don't know if I'm all in on this, Bob. I don't know if I'm in on that. You've heard Matt Eberflus talk about how this is the deepest O-line that he's ever had. And if you think about it, as long as they stay healthy, what position are you going to go trade for? Where are we trading for? People are being too critical on the center position when he's actually playing really, really well. If you were going to see him trade for a center, why wouldn't we have gone and got Connor Williams for $3 million and let him sit and heal behind Coleman Shelton? Why wouldn't we have done that? You've got Nate Davis, you've got Ryan Bates, you've got Tevin Jenkins. I don't see an upgrade out there where you're going to trade for someone. And I don't see Braxton Jones or Darnell Wright being replaced. And you got Kieran Amagaje learning in the wings. Matt Pryor is a really good swing tackle until then, and he's a decent guard backup, not as good at guard as he is at tackle. I'm not harping on you, Bob, but you hear a lot of people talking about that on Twitter and all these other shows and sites where they're, giving rumors and giving their trade ideas and stuff like that. I just don't see it happening. The one place I could have seen that happening was the defensive line. And now it's definitely a wait and see thing. You've got the ability to not rush Austin Booker into it. And if you missed the press conferences from today, that was another thing that was hit on by Eric Washington when they asked, where was Austin Booker on this one? And he basically, I'm not quoting, but he basically said, that's the thing with the rookie. You just tell him to keep putting his nose down and going to work, and that's what you do is you bring them along. When you've got someone like Darrell Taylor, I don't know if they plan on using Darrell Taylor for that many reps, but when he starts playing that well in the game, when he gets a strip sack, and when you create wins for the team by doing what you did, you don't take that guy out. And then when you've got DeMarcus Walker, who they might not have had, necessarily playing that many snaps as well, maybe Austin Booker was supposed to come in for DeMarcus Walker a couple times on third down. But when DeMarcus Walker starts off that game that well, and he's got the highest, almost one of the highest in the league, top 15 in the entire league in pass rush win rate on that first game, when he's winning 25% of his pass rushes, you don't have to rush your rookie into that. Your 5th round, should have been a 3rd rounder, 5th round Austin Booker, you don't have to rush him into the game to try to force it. You can bring him into it. And I think it was a perfect formula for this defense. This defense got exactly what they needed on this first game to be able to pick up where they left off and build confidence to know they can build this team while the offense gets up to speed. I think it was perfect. It couldn't have gone any more perfect. Austin Booker didn't have to play a single snap because Darrell Taylor came in and did his job. DeMarcus Walker did his job. Montez Sweat had the worst game of any of them, and that's Montez Sweat. Now think about future games from here on out. When teams are game planning, they look at our tape and they look at our film and they say, oops, I didn't even read that one. Sorry. I don't know if it was good or bad, but I was trying to scroll down so I could see more comments. when they look at that film and they see Darrell Taylor, when they see DeMarcus Walker, when they see Jervon Dexter, when they see Andrew Billings, and if you guys didn't catch it on the All-22, you'd catch it if you go back and watch. Andrew Billings actually had a couple snaps where he lined up on the outside, on the defensive end position. So all of them played very well. When you have that, they're not all of a sudden just play or preparing or getting ready for Montez Sweat. Well, what does that do for Montez Sweat in future games? A little bit of pressure off him. And now you're going to see this next game, you're going to see Montez Sweat get more opportunities where he's not double teamed as much, where they might have to focus on Darrell Taylor a little bit more. They might have to focus on Jervon Dexter, Andrew Billings. And then Montez Sweat's going to get his opportunities, and he creates great pressure. Doesn't always get the sacks, but he gets a good number of sacks. But he's going to create great pressure. He gets in there on every play. And all of these guys, the thing I noticed from this first game and watching it over again, they've all got motors. Even big Andrew Billings. They've got motors. They don't stop. You watch Austin Booker in the preseason, and all these guys look very similar to that when you're watching this tape over again. They all are relentless. You hear about them going in at halftime, and the attitude and the mentality of everybody, they're all talking, we got this. We got this. How are we going to get the comeback? And they expected the comeback. That's on the defense. We really didn't have any turnover. Justin Jones, who was the worst, he had his great days here in Chicago. It's not like he was a terrible player, but he was on the decline. He had the worst year out of any of our, other than, for those who got enough reps, I should say, because Dominic Robinson had an absolutely terrible year. But he had the worst year. He's gone. And really, Jervon Dexter was being groomed to replace him. And then Eddie Jackson's gone, and he had one of his worst years. And he had some great years here. But he got replaced by Kevin Byard, who's one of the best tacklers in the league at the safety position, I believe. There's nothing but positive from this defense. So anybody saying the Bears are out of this game and this is an easy win for the Texans, that this should be a 6.5 point, 7 point, 5 point, 6 point. Do you guys understand on betting lines, anything above 2.5, 3 means it's going to be a blowout. That's what they're saying, but with those lines. When you're looking at the spread and they say 2.5, 3 points, that means it's expected to be a close game and either team could win. When you get above that, when you start seeing 4, 5, 6, when you definitely see 6.5, 7, they're saying, no way do the Bears have any shot at this game. And that's why your national pundits, that's why you're Collin Cowturds, that's why they start saying, well, yeah, this will be an automatic loss for the Bears. And the Bears will go on a 3-game losing streak. All right, just like we said before. Last week I said, before the season started, I said, if we start 0-2, nobody should panic. There should be zero panic on this team. Number one reason, this defense is fine. The offense just needs to get up to speed, and we have a rookie quarterback. If we went 0-4, because that first stretch of schedule isn't the easiest thing in the world, still shouldn't panic. Last year, now it's going to happen. They would have panicked if that happened. They would be in full panic, overblown. Caleb Williams sucks. This is the end of the world. This is ending. We're done. It's gone. Blah, blah, blah. Fire everybody. Get Eberflus out of here. That's what it would have been. But that's not how it should be. Now, Cowherd's taking that stance that we're going to lose 3 in a row. So what if we do? Yeah, it's not as nice as if we don't. And honestly, right now, with the Colts losing Juju Brents, they don't have a good secondary. The Colts don't have a good secondary. That's going to be next week is going to be a game where you see Caleb Williams tee off. He'll have his first 300-yard passing game. I'm already saying that now. Nobody's talking about the Colts game yet because it's not here yet. But bookmark it, check it down, put it in the log it in your file. Caleb Williams will have his first 300-yard game against the Colts next week. That will happen. And then you've got the Rams. What was their big injury? Oh, Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua's out. So it'll be interesting. We could very well go 4-0. And if we go 4-0, let's pull this back up from last time. If we go 4-0, if we get through those first 4 games, now this is preseason. This was my predictions preseason. Okay, and I did every divisional game as a 50-50. I'm not saying they're going to be 50-50, but I think that's realistic to do that, to make the divisional games 50-50. Lose to the Texans and Niners, and then you're traveling to Jacksonville, where they're the home team. We're actually the home team, but they are the home team. And then you've got the Colts and Rams at the beginning of the season where you've got a rookie quarterback developing and coming into the league. That's why I put all of those as 50-50. And then you look at the other ones. This is based off Vegas as well. What they say we should win there. We should beat the Commanders. We should beat the Cardinals. We should beat the Patriots. We should beat the Panthers. We should beat the Seahawks. If that's the case, we win 10.5 games. So look at us getting through that first stretch. If you get through that first stretch and somehow we go 4-0, this is hypothetical. Don't crucify me for this take. I'm just talking out loud, giving hypotheticals, okay? We get through that first stretch, we go 4-0. If we get through that, then you've got the Panthers. And I don't think there's any way you lose to the Panthers. Then you've got all the confidence in the world flying to London, playing that game. Then you've got a bye week, and you're coming back from the bye week playing Washington, Arizona, and the Patriots. I don't know how you wouldn't be 9-0. I get it. It sounds homerish right now. Just follow me down this hypothetical train. Then you're facing the Packers as our first divisional game on Caleb Williams' birthday, actually on my birthday, but the day before Caleb's birthday. And he's going to give us a birthday present. He's going to give us that win. Then you got the Vikings with their situation. Now, I realize Sam Darnold looked good week 1 against the Giants. This is why you can't really expect anything until midseason to look real. Then you got the Lions and the Niners, which will be tough. But all this narrative right now goes away if things go a little bit differently. That's what I just said, Swifty. I'm with you. Even if we lose the next 3, who cares? Then we got the Panthers. Even if we lose the next 3, it doesn't define this team. Everyone should know that from last year. So there's a lot to be said, a lot to be done. But right here is where you want to focus. Right on the Texans. Their defensive interior is nothing like the Titans. Gives us an opportunity to run the ball, to get our game going. And I think you'll have more opportunity to pass the ball. And I don't think Caleb's going to miss like he did last week. Then you've got the Colts that are one of the weaker secondaries and just lost Juju Brents. And you can see Caleb open it up. So this is going to be fun. I'm all with it. All right, let's check out the chat. Then I'm going to end it because I wanted to keep it around 45 minutes. Let's see. I missed a lot. And guys, I'm sorry. I said this is why I need a team here. I need a duo. I said I would hit more chat this week, and I didn't. All right, Benjamin Trujillo says Texans O-line only has a left tackle. Time for Dexter to eat. He beat Hubble, who's a top 5 center. Montez Sweat, Terrell Taylor, Austin Booker versus Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good game. Guys, I'm so stoked for this game. I am freaking excited about this. Yeah, that's true, Leroy. The crowd in London will be heavily Bears. They have a lot of Jaguars fans because how much the Jaguars play there. So I don't think it's going to be as skewed. It won't necessarily be all, Jaguars home. It's technically our home game. But it'll be fun. That's going to be a fun game too. I'll be up and early. I'm actually going to do that one as a live feed as well with you guys. That's early for me. I think it starts at like 6 my time, which is crazy. So, all right. Before we go, what do you guys think? Do you think we hold a shot against the Texans? I want to hear realistic takes. Do you guys think we have a shot to beat the Texans? Is it a shot? Do we have a shot? Is it a really good shot? Do you feel really confident in it? Or no shot, we're going to lose to the Texans? What do you guys think? Bears are more popular over here. I like it. Antmus says win. Now we'll get some homering from our team. I really do think if our defense can hold them to 17, 20 points to 3 out of 4 drives being punts, which our defense can do that, guys. I don't know why so many people are going to overlook this defense on week 2. I don't get that right now. You're hearing a narrow loss. I think that's a realistic take. No, Texans have to lose this. Bears won't win it. Don't bet money on Bears this week. So just so you guys know, I didn't bet Bears to win straight outright. What I did, I finally went down and got my ticket. I do $10 a week. Again, now I have to say this. We have to win. Again, I have to put this in here because I've told people on this channel I turned down a gambling sponsorship for this channel. So I have to preface it. I've got to say that I do 2 bets every week. So here's the first one. I do my parlay. And the first one there you see Chicago Bears plus 6.5. What I did on my bet was that the Bears on the spread. So even if the Bears lose by 6 points, I still win my bet here on my parlay. And I feel really confident that the Bears will be in close on this game. I really do. All right, let's see. I hope we win. Bob Billings says 24-17 Bears. I like it. Here we go. Jigsaw. It's a winnable game. I think it will be determined by the defense secondaries. I can get all on board with that. If Jaquan Brisker has a bad game, we probably lose this game. Sorry to put it all on Brisker, but if he does, crazy Bears things will happen. I like it. Daniel Hardy getting another blocked punt. Close game, and the offense plays well down the stretch. Now, Caleb, I think, can manage games. Here's the other part of it. So I actually feel really good about it. Caleb will bounce back. We may be without Allen and Rome. Difference will be even more. Yeah, offense will be even more difficult. Sorry about that, guys. We're not scrubs without him, though. Just remember, we still have DJ Moore. We got Cole Kmet, who will be used more. We got Gerald Everett, a lot of people overlook him. I think we're going to use him a lot more this week as well. You got DeAndre Swift out of the backfield, who can catch a lot, and I think will be catching more balls this week. You've still got Tyler Scott, who's eager to prove himself. I don't think he gets more than 2 or 3 targets in this game, though. And then you still got guys we can call up like Colin Johnson. And DeAndre Carter isn't a scrub either, so I think we're okay. I feel a lot better about this wide receiver room than I did before. Never bet on my home teams. That's solid advice, and it's done me bad before. But I did it in a parlay with. I mean that to me that's an easy one. The plus 6.5 on the spread, and then the other one I do is what's called the impossible parlay, and it's never ever hit. I put $5, so I put $10 on that. Put $5 on this one, where you pick 5 games and the player that's going to score a touchdown first on that game. And the only reason I do it is it's absolutely ridiculous. You put $5 down, pick 5 games, and if you win it, you win like 90 grand. So it's freaking ridiculous. And what I did, just so you guys know, I did DJ Moore would score first in the Bears versus the Texans, Travis Etienne in the Browns and Jaguars, Mike Evans in the Bucks versus the Lions, Anthony Richardson, so he has to have a running touchdown in the Colts versus the Packers, and James Conner, Rams versus the Cardinals. $5 to win $89,000. It'll never happen. I mean, the odds of that is like the lottery, is what they say, but it's called the impossible parlay for a reason, because actually predicting, one of 20 guys that could score first in the game from either side of the team is ridiculously hard. So that's what I do, like $15 a week on my little betting. Not telling you to go out and bet responsibly. Don't be idiots. Don't mortgage your house. Don't do anything stupid, guys. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate the chat. All of you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Everett in the slot. We'll see a lot of different things. Yeah, you can do that. This is called the impossible parlay for a reason. It's first touchdown, because of the odds of it make you win like 90 grand. If you want, I put $5 on it. So I go into it knowing I'm going to lose it, but if you ever hit it, it's like the lottery. You're putting a ticket on the lottery. If it ever happened. Now, last week it was kind of cool. Last week's, I'll share with you guys. Where is it? All right, here was my last week's, and I got real excited because you think about this. All right, here was the very first game of last week. It was the Ravens and Chiefs. There's the ticket if you want to see it. Here's last week's. Obviously, I didn't win it. You see at the bottom there, $5 to win $89,000. And you look at them there. I had DJ Moore in the Bears game, so I obviously didn't win it. But the first game was Derrick Henry for Baltimore Ravens at Chiefs, and I got it. Second game was right where my thumb is, Saquon Barkley, Green Bay Packers at Eagles, and I got it. So I started off Thursday and Friday's game, 2 for 2. And I'll tell you, I got fake hope in me, because you never win these things. And the third one I lost. So the Bears game and the Steelers game, Najee Harris didn't happen. So, it's rare to even hit one of those, but to have all 5. And then I hit the first 2. I was like, my buddy Brock, who, if you guys are watching my upset pick video, he's the guy in there. I was texting him. I was just like, dude, if this happens, get down here. We're having steak dinner. We're going out on Vegas. Like, It's crazy. It'll never happen, but it's just fun for me to do that. So, all right. Appreciate the chat. You guys are awesome. Game tonight starting really soon. And then the Bears are Sunday Night Football. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time,